What is up, and let us kick straight off. You want to know how to make more sales on Shopify, and I want to talk to you about consumer decision behaviors and the apps that are going to help you influence and help your customers make better decisions and buy your products. So let's go straight into it. We're going to break this video down into two sections. The first section, we're going to talk about the psychological decision principles people use when they're going to go ahead and make a decision or a purchase pattern. The second thing we're going to talk about is the apps that are going to help influence people make those particular decisions. So let's go straight into it with the first part. Now, there are several characteristics and psychological principles we're going to talk about. So we're going to break it down one by one. First one is called user behavior. The second thing we're going to talk about is curiosity gap. The third thing we're going to talk about is anchoring bias. The fourth we're going to talk about is social proof or trust, i.e. loss aversion. The fifth thing we're going to talk about is pattern interruptions. And the sixth thing and seventh thing we'll talk about is reactivation as a general principle, as well as warm audiences. So with those being said, those are the general principles. Sounds like a little bit of jargon, but we're going to go straight into it with what they mean and the apps that are going to help you do that. Now, the first thing we're going to be speaking about is anchoring bias or curiosity gap. Anchoring bias by principle basically means people are sort of influenced by the first information and data piece that they see. This is usually the situation why you end up having a high sale price when you go to jewelry stores on the outside, because you end up seeing something that's $10,000, $20,000, $30,000. When you go in, prices are significantly cheaper, which automatically make you feel like you're getting a discount or getting a cheaper price. The second thing is curiosity gap. People are generally interested in wanting to fill gaps of information because that's just how we are built as human beings. Now, where does that come in when it has to do with your Shopify App Store? I want to introduce you to two particular products. The first thing is basically going to be Zipify Upsell, or basically cross-selling applications. There's several of them out there in the market. You can either use Zipify or you can use the one by Honeycomb. They're both really well valued. Now, the reason why this works is because people at this point in time are sold for the principle that this particular product is being sold for $39.99. But when they add to cart, you're suddenly selling them with an upsell saying if they go ahead and buy an extra product or bundle it up, they're going to get a cheaper discount or much better discount. In addition, they're also going to be given the principle that they can cross-sell or you can buy products according to whatever matches the behavior. You've seen this in Amazon where they say someone who's bought this has also bought that. So it adds to that bias, helping them understand that, okay, there's some relevance in what I'm trying to purchase, and this might increase what we call as average order value. That means you're getting more out of your customer for that acquisition cost of getting them to your particular website. The second thing is people really don't speak about this is curiosity gaps. People really want to fill in gaps. And also people have a tendency to go ahead and feel like they don't want to feel owed to something. I don't know the exact term for this, but it's the same reason why whenever someone goes for a coffee with you, one of the principles of influence is if you pay for the coffee, people feel obliged that they owe you that particular amount of money, and it helps you as a person who bought the coffee set up a second meeting for that person. This usually helps in core B2B sales. Similarly, so the same thing can be applied when you're trying to get someone to purchase a product from you. You can do this curiosity gap by a combination of digital downloads. So a lot of people don't do this, but an easy way for you to increase your purchase or conversion rate is simply by offering a digital download along with the product you sell. Imagine you're selling a product such as a BlendJet, which is basically a blender. But instead of just selling the BlendJet, as soon as someone adds it to the cart, in their cart, automatically they have a PDF available for them that talks about the best recipes or best juices they can make using that BlendJet. Now, people automatically A, have curiosity to understand what those recipes are, and B, feel obliged that you're giving away information for free and therefore increase the chance of someone purchasing that particular product. So that's something for you to consider. The third principle I want to talk about is social proofing or loss aversion. As human beings, we tend to follow the information and influence of other people's behaviors. That's just how we operate, and that's why we live by examples. Loss aversion theory basically states that people will do more to avoid pain than they will to gain pleasure. Right? So where does this come in with respect to applications? Social proofing is something where we can introduce the concept of reviews. They're absolutely pivotal and needed anywhere you're going to sell a product on Shopify. And the second thing is also to do with things like social proofing using social media. That means you can use things like InstaFeed or basically feeds that go ahead and add a social proof feed, TikTok, Instagram, whatever it is, onto your Shopify store. The loss aversion principle basically comes from having things like guarantees, return periods, trust badges, as well as again kind of combined with social proof, where you're showing people that there's a chance that this is not going to be bad for you. You're much better off buying this product that might be a little more expensive than the competitors who is cheaper, but you have more trust towards us. So that's something for you to consider. The other psychological principle we're going to speak about is pattern interruption. People want to go ahead and be interrupted, and that causes a change in behavior, and that might invoke a particular sale. If a customer is going down a path where they're losing confidence in the product, suddenly a pattern interrupter can be a great way to re-engage that particular person. An easy app for you to do this and much more is Privy. It's one of the most popular apps on Shopify, where you can easily put up a sales pop-up, a discount pop-up. You even got the cartwheel of discount. All those things really help increase your conversion rate and therefore increase your sales. The other thing I want to speak about is that reactivation cycle. Now, reactivation is a complex engine where there's several ways you can easily go ahead and reactivate your customer base. Now, reactivation is a massive area where people really don't tap into, because you get a significant amount of sales at a very cheap cost, because you've already got this customer activated in some form and manner, either through a purchase, they've been to your website before, or whatever it may be. Now, there's 3 ways you can reactivate your customers. One is through web push notifications. We'll jump into that very quickly. The other one is actually email marketing, and the third one is SMS marketing. Here's the apps for each of those. For web push notifications or just general notifications, you can use something called Push-All. Push-All is fantastic because you don't need to worry about sending emails and SMSs, which generally cost money, because push notifications are native. The other thing is open rates of push notifications are significantly higher than emails and SMSs. And it's a great way for you to either offer discounts to customers, ask them to come back and finish their shopping cart, or just re-engage them whenever you have a sale. The other thing I want to speak about is email. With email, the most popular one that is out there is Klaviyo. Klaviyo is a great way for you to go ahead and set up sequences to go ahead and recapture your audience that might have been lost across different funnels of different segments of funnels in the purchase process. That can be from when they visited the page, to when they added to their cart, to when they've checked out, when they maybe tried to make a sale and the credit card rejected and they left different ways. And you can create multiple variants of sequences to get your customer to get re-engaged and purchase from you again. Most people offer a discount for whenever they go to add to cart, because the cost of that customer's acquisition is easily overseen by the purchase versus just having a 10% discount. The third thing is SMS bump or SMS marketing, a fantastic product and a fantastic space for you to go ahead and get your customers back onto your funnel. Now, SMS bump has shown to be one of the most popular ones. You also can go quite custom using Twilio. Same sort of process. SMS bump and Klaviyo have the same sequencing engine, funnel optimization, and so on and so forth to get your customers to come back, re-engage, and convert. Because that's what you're trying to look for, is trying to increase the average value of a customer that you've acquired through maybe paid ads, SEO, or whatever model that you put in. 2 more apps that I didn't want to mention for email marketing. One that I already mentioned before is Privy. The other one is Postscript SMS marketing. Those are really good tools and highly rated products on Shopify that you should definitely check out. Now to go with the review section. Now, I spoke about social proof being a big part as well as loss aversion, but I never actually jumped into what the apps can be. Yes, I mentioned review applications, but some quick examples can be Yotpo, Loops, or even AliExpress reviews. Those are really good ways for you to go ahead and get reviews onto your particular site. And like I said, for social proofing, you've got your Insta feeds going for you anyway. Now, the last part I want to talk about is user behavior metrics. Now, user behavior metrics is not exactly a psychological principle. It's more so trying to analyze and understand what are the resistant patterns that your customer existively faces when they're trying to make a purchase. There are 2 really cool tools that I want you to check out that are going to significantly help you convert your store's ratio a lot more, make more sales, and actually understand how people are interacting with your product. One is called Lucky Orange, which is basically a user screen recording software. It lets you understand how people are operating. The second thing is called bug reporting, which is another fantastic tool that also lets you go ahead and do screen recording, lets you get feedback from your customers, as well as submit any issue that your customer is facing in case they're stuck in between. Quick disclaimer, that is obviously one of our products, and if you want to check it out, the link is going to be in the description. So that is it. That's all the apps and principles that you essentially need. More than the apps that are just utilities, I want you to take away these principles that are going to make you help make more money. Now, the goal of Shopify is to build a business, to build something that is successful, and the way you can do that is really understanding and tapping into your consumer mindset. Now, one quick bonus tip before we end this video is I want to speak to you about the biggest part of all of this is copywriting. If you cannot message your voice of tone or understand what your customer really wants, and remember, people buy with emotion and justify with logic. So you need to be selling, that's my dog. You need to be selling with emotions first, that means outcomes, and then offering the features if they want the features. People buy with emotion, so make sure that your copy is drive towards the emotion of that particular person. That's all for this video. I hope you have a fantastic one. My dog's going crazy. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you in the next one. Obviously, if you like this, please feel free to share, like, and subscribe. It helps spread the word, and it helps people make more money on Shopify. Have a good day.